Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Sino, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I am going to be your host for Scissors Winter League for the first time. I'm happy to be here. You guys should be happy to be here, and it should be a beautiful, beautiful day. So without further ado, let's get straight into the map overlay, and we'll be right back. So, without further ado, we go straight into the match because we are on a little bit of a delay. So, with the first bands coming in through. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a second. We are just going to get all of this out the way. So, with the map vetoes coming in, we are going to be looking at the big bans. They have eliminated all of the preliminary rounds. Chalet taking the first ban is a little wild considering of how nasty the map is when you don't know how to coordinate it properly, leaving border after all of these consecutive bans. And with that being said, we do have our ban phase being fully completed and taking us on into the action phase with no delays. Gotta get the stream link. Chat, let me know if the audio is all good over this stream. We do move in very, very quickly, looking at upstairs as our first site. Very, very simple hold. The zombie surviving the ban phase, Blackbeard and Monty being the two attackers who don't, actually makes a bunch of sense. You know, you do have two shield ops, so the fully automatic AR in the pocket, it's just not something you want to deal with on a map so condensed. There's not a lot of room to make mistakes on this map, and that is exactly why you need to ban the operators that could make you sacrifice that crucial time in the late round stages. For some reason. Is that correct? There we go. Moving into the first round, it is very expected you'll see a zombie and a Goyo on the board when you do bring it in for an upstairs hold, and they remain unbanned. It's very simple. No feed holes on the CC wall is going to be a little bit of a stir for any of an attacker trying to open up the breach. It allows them to get wallbang, but an early pick on here tries to see an early spawn peek. Foreign thinking he can take on the Flores, but Jay will get the first pick 30 seconds into the round, allowing the first pick to ensue. The second one follows shortly after. Dokubi's covered so much ground. She's covered metal. She's covered top blue, and all she's done now is flying to the site, flooding in from Fountain. Her teammates are taking damage from the Volcans, but that might be the quickest round we've seen. 40 seconds in, and they move in, take everybody out, and not a single person was downed or taken out, and that's Wey's first round within a minute. It's absolutely beautiful for the execute. What a first round coming in from Wey, and that's exactly how you want to set that momentum, and that will move us into the first round. Taking us right back to upstairs. A little bit of an unfortunate hold coming in here from God's Favor, and it could be them trying to go for a second try on the hold, and it wouldn't make too much sense if they didn't. It was a little bit of a complicated round, seeing the first pick go into the favor of Jay as he takes off the head of the player trying to spawn peek him off catwalk, and then the second pick's just going through. Sentry being a pick isn't it's not too obvious and it's not too bland as a bold pick to bring it in. You could bring better players, but as an eccentric team that likes to utilize utility, it wouldn't be too crazy if you prioritize somebody that brings a shield, a shotgun, and a C4 when really needed. And that C4 might be needed here with the aggressiveness that comes in here from Wey. Seeing how Rule covered so much space so fast into the round, it's just needed to have somebody who can slow it down and reset. Prompt will have that very action-packed DMR, so it will be a very obvious pick and a very obvious choice to bring. And again, the first pick goes in the favor of the Ways as they take out the face-up foreign, going down very crucial. Double kill here for Gunnin. First 2 kills for God Favour come on the board. It's Sincere to build on that. Gives them the third, and that's a 2v4. They've doubled the man differential in a minute. This is an action-packed game. You blink, you'll miss a kill, and right now, that's exactly what's happening. Sincere might be able to land a C4 kill here as Ace narrowly escapes death, and now they know where he is. It is another reset of the aforementioned. They need to look for an easy kill here, and Dean getting an easy kill here. What is Sentry looking at? And Sincere gets punished. They've closed the differential now to just one singular body. Assuming so much control, Ace knows he needs to force this bandit off the triple wall. Gridlock not holding frag grenades, but does have the ability to chuck a frag over from the cats and try to get it done. And that's exactly what she'll do. Will be able to get all 3 shock wires off very soon, forcing the bandit into the back left of the corner. You'll have a second body trying to play off of him. On the HS, and the second's going to stay deep into Archives. Ace does have the opportunity to run across and get the breach open here. Gridlock sitting close. The C4 to no avail. 2 more left to try to connect, and Ace will switch places with the Gridlock. We'll get that triple wall open, and Bandit does need to get forced off, but he will move on to the second reinforcement. Right now, East is the name of the game. Whoever can't take control of this site is going to be the victory. The breach will get open. No mute jammers or electric shocks to get it, but it doesn't matter for Gun as he's just always swinging, and it will be tripped to be in the 1v3 situation. Doing much better than their last round where it was a 1v5 in about 55 seconds. This is looking a lot more graceful. Bandit a little bit late to the common, getting wallbanged by Trip. 30 seconds to make magic happen, and you're gonna have Prompt waiting for him to walk across the triple. That's something you have to expect as a man with an ACOG in your hands. The pre-fire almost connects, but not quite. He still has a mag or 2 left in the clip to be able to determine what he wants to do. Zoto canister will restrict his movement, but easily shootable if he decides to go up for it. Knows he needs to isolate, and now the Tavaro needs to get up and shoot, and that's exactly what he'll do to make it 1-all. Just had an audio check from my moderators, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to look at ventilation as the next site. It is going to be one of those tricky sites where if you don't know how to extend properly, you are going to be in for a world of hurt. So far, we are looking at the right staple operators. We're going to be seeing a pulse. A little bit debatable, but you do see the mute coming in to deny certain breaches. You're going to bring the Legion in as your trap, and Defender, despite how many nerfs he's taken, those F-Nats are still absolutely crucial to bring to your roster. You are going to see a verticality holder, which is kind of expected when you have a site so wide and needed to be held. If you allow the attackers to take verticality, it is going to be an absolute pain to deal with later on in the rounds. You're going to have Legion on the vert. You're going to have Bandit shock wires assisting upstairs with the mute, and the Fenrir alongside with the Bandit on the roam, with 2 players resetting back downstairs. Seeming like a multifaceted push, as you're gonna have the defenders also extended out into the bathroom as well. Rule going to be the man for the job as he covers so much ground. Could have had that wedge where he finds bodies, but he will just walk into sight instead. No F-Nats to determine where he is, and he's just going to wait. That's trigger discipline. He'll get the first pick onto Omerta, and it will be a 5v4, only 40 seconds in. Rule is going to go for greater pastures as ISO wins his gunfight onto Sincere. It's a 5v3, also still in 40 seconds. These gunfights seem like they're just uncontestable coming in from Wey. The first Dokkaebi call will get used, and it will be used to locate the Bandit. A little bit of a twinkle toe situation, but he will win the gunfight 5v2, as now the two operators are still on Fur, and a little bit of a whiff there allows Foreign to almost have a second chance to get re-fragged, but will live to see another day. Trip has the pints, and now you need Ram to push this man off of Fountain to be able to get an easy kill here. But it looks like God's Favor isn't going down without a challenge, and Trip needs to start turning his attention onto upstairs, as they're all losing bodies real quick, as Trip and Jay, the men for the job, as they win both of their gunfights, allowing it to be 2-1 in the favor of Wey. We go back onto ventilation. Second time's the charm is what we've seen from God's Favor so far. Anytime they go that site twice, they'll lock it in. The first was a flawless, and the second one was a little questionable on the amount of bodies they lost within the first 45 seconds. But it is the whole name of the game by just learning. Capcan is going to be integrated into the lineup, and that makes it very easy to try to catch any of those wandering attackers off guard. With his recent nerfs, he has lost his C4, making him a little bit less viable than usual, but his Capcan traps are still absolutely beautiful to bring into a roster when needed. Stutters there from the glitches. What's going on here? Always when you're spectating, all the graphics decide to be a pain in your ass. Same exact roster. This time, not too much of an aggressive hold upstairs. They have brought the same preliminary obs, but they have taken the preemptive actions to reinforce the certain walls that they got screwed over from the last time. They have brought the trap operators to deny those walk-ins, and rules locations finally known without hitting getting a kill first. The alert system from the defenders hasn't been the greatest, but the one tap is going to be something to speak about, as he will take off Ace within the first 40 seconds again. There is not a single dull moment in this game. Nobody boils this down to the last minute. They all just take their gunfights, and it all boils down to the last and first minute. Absolute shutdown from Jay. Nothing to speak about except for good night and good riddance, as Prompt gets taken out with his C4 in the pocket, and now two defenders will be tasked with the job of finding the kill onto the man outside of reach, who is no longer a ghost, just a fairy tale who was once there. Will rotate off security, trying to get a lucky wallbang, and will contest the breach yet once again. Bandit being close here to find a gun, and it is going to be gunfights all over that second floor. The flash pushes him off, allowing Dokkaebi to get a good isolation here, but she will rotate off. Bandit trying to get a lucky wallbang, but Jay will be the one to win the gunfight in East, and now it'll be Ram versus the Bandit, and it's obvious who will win. She'll get the confirmation kill, and now triple kill as they're all forced back into sight, hoping on the Capcans or the FNATs to slow down the potential attack. But right now, the attackers seem like they have an immense amount of momentum built up, and something that you need to talk about, as they have the IQ to burn the utility as well. It's just beautiful displays of teamwork, and nobody's rushing it. They have plenty of time, a minute on the clock, and now they just have to find their bodies. Capcan getting droned out, how to use your utility. 101 is rule teaches us. He'll find the one, almost finds the second, but it'll be Dean to confirm the kill, and that's the other round for Wey as it becomes 3-1. We take it back up to Armory Lockers as the rotation parameter unlocks. It's been 3 rounds since they've been down there, or up there in this case. So they're going to go back to holding it. They're going to rotate out to the Warden for a Frost this time around. Both do offer the shield. Warden does have that shotgun and the very broken SMG as well. But right now, it is imperative that you bring an operator that can slow people down. And Frost is the person for that job, paired up with the Bandit, the Legion, and the Goyo. It's all about how you can deny them utility and gunfight wise. You can't slow them down if they're just overpowering you into the building within 40 seconds. So bringing Frost is a good resolution to getting it done. And now we're going to see a very, very soft extension into Archives, but we're not going to see as heavy an extension as they had into Security and Break Room. Noah Zombie has been integrated into the roster this time, and maybe it is just going to be for the greater good for them to just slow down the holds. Taking us into our next round, another almost gunfight. Sincere almost sincerely goes under, but he'll live to see another day as he drops off the catwalk balcony. Almost gets taken out within a 30-second mark, and all 5 of the attackers are going to be pushing in from vents, and it could be very easy for the attackers to walk in or very easy for the defenders to stop them. It's all about the aggression and who gets the first pick here. For a team that's been overly aggressive, it's been working in their favor so far. Having one man below to try to deny the security hold is going to be an absolute preemptive measure to try to take them out before they can walk in. But it's ultimately a guess, as Tripway will take one out. Mute will get the second off a refrag. Rule will get the third, making it 2. That's the ace on the next. It's a 4v2. The C4 finally connects from Sincere. He'll be on his double. But guess what? You've tried your best to try to get those consolidation kills, but it's to no avail. You've gotten 2. Trip's gotten 1, and Rule's got the 3rd. You're still down a body. They know you're below now, meaning it's a 1v3 on site. Make it a 1v2 as Oferta is not going down so easily, as he'll get the consolidation kill. Stops all the bleeding, and now it'll be a 2-all in a direct push onto site. Mute no C4, but will have the power position of sitting on metal. Is Legion going to swing into the crosshair of this Flores or try to slow it down and wait for the post-plant scenario? Mute has rotated successfully back into site, and Ace will open off the deep corners. Right now, you need one man to put a pin in it between yourself and the other players. The defenders just need to go for the planter, and the attackers just need to drive a wedge in between the hold. Mute rotating downstairs. He knows his shotgun's a high destruction weapon. The call of the plant is destined to go out soon, but if this Legion goes down, it seems like that plant will mean absolutely nothing. The Ace hears the shotgun, and now you need to isolate your gunfight, because now they know he's below, and it's very easy for them to isolate, as the Ace is also going to get a bit aggressive, but the Volcan canister will keep him at bay, allowing the Mute to rotate back up. Shooting the shotgun, almost has it, but Ace is just going to be sticking it. Jay, what are you doing? He's walking up on the planter. What are you doing? As Sincere lands a quad to get himself on the board and manage to narrowly win that for God's favor. We've brought it back. They're not going down without a fight, and it would have been an absolute toss if they managed to allow it to go to 4-1. But God's favor, that's the message. They're not here to play, and the response sends them to 3-2, closing the differential down to just 1. Can they win it to make it 4-2, or can God's favor tie it all up and make it even as they go on to the attacker-defender switch? It's imperative you don't go down so many rounds when you're the one that's been blessed and graced with having border defense first. They take bathroom now, the first and only site they haven't defended. Not using a Kaid and not integrating a castle into the hold. A little curious as to see how this is going to be played out. The triple wall is going to remain reinforced. The quad not reinforced. No extension into ventilation and no extension above. Azami will be upstairs, but won't have that hatch as the escape plan. So a little curious as to see how this is going to work out if the attackers decide to either swarm the site or upstairs. Drones, the cutoffs do locate the first roamer. The first Vulcan canister has has been detonated. Legion's going to be tasked with just denying off armory. Goyo's going to be with metal. And Azami, lastly, will be the last defender, will be upstairs near the fountain and the bricks. You'll have one player already in security and the other one already getting close. Habana closing down that space needed to take her gunfights. Guess what? Your gunfights aren't going to be working out, as it'll be prompt to win it and take it home for himself. That's an individual victory and a big one for the attackers, because guess what? Now you have double the amount of obstacles to overcome. You don't have the can openers. You only have flashy smokes and frags. You don't have that utility that can get those hatches open, and now they're going to have a contingency plan, and that should be just isolating their straight ones. Legion trying to get a good wallbang in through the small office. A little bit of shaky aim from Rule will take that double advantage, as Jay will be the second to close it down. Just one body, almost finding the second. Flash will rule into anybody trying to get close. And Jay now does need to do something for his team. That drone is going to be beautiful if he can locate this Goyo. ISO, on the other hand, he's not messing around, just swings nice and easily, taking care of that Legion. One more defender is going to be in the way between the attackers in full access to verticality, taking some damage off the vert, and now it is absolutely crucial they make this player gone and dead within 30 seconds of the round before he wastes too much time for them to be rushed and allow the drone work onto the site to be absolutely rushed. That's exactly what it'll be, because if you had the drones, you would have located the two roamers, the one in the small and the one soft roaming. Sincere, the absolute player to watch for God's favor, driving a wedge in between Way and absolute domination of the site and just dropping off. Jay now has his ones isolated and cut out for him. 30 seconds, headshot should have ensued, but doesn't, as he'll live to see another day. 4 on 1 HP, but right now all he has to do is waste the time. That's exactly what he'll do. 5 HP in a dream, as they have 2 bodies advantage, and now he has to isolate between going for sight or just looking for the guns. Catches one off guard. Can he catch the second? Sincere will drop off yet once again. And is Jay aware there's a man sitting tucked in close on his waiting room? You must hear it, as he'll try to knife him, thinking he has a go-go gadget extendo arm, but does not, as he'll have the man in sight with the SMG-11 to frag him off. And now it's 3-all as they switch on to the attacker-defender switch. First round for Way, we should be moving upstairs onto Armory. They've been taking care of everything so far, but God's Favor respectively has had their counter and their absolute gunfights that they've managed to isolate down just as strict teamwork. They can lose bodies and they can lose their ones, but guess what? They've been responding from an absolute runabout. They were running wild, and now it looks like they're a completely different team. They were down 3-1 a couple of rounds ago, and they've managed to isolate it right back down to a 3-3, allowing a perfect split as they switch on to attack. Right now, we're not going to be seeing too many defenders on the roam. Dean is going to have that Legion shotgun, the man that can lock down gunfights and make it one way. If you get close to this shotgun and you're hit by a goo mine, or you're unaware of him sitting in this corner, it's a 90 chance to 1 that you're going to get absolutely eviscerated before you can even react. No Azami. Goyo will be the operator that we do see from both teams, the staple operator that does seem to be brought no matter the site or the roster. And we are going to see the same setup, but now instead of the triple wall being reinforced, it will be full feed holes, restricting the east walk-in to be so easy. Early engagements does seem to show an east take on the board. You will have the Grim as he remains unbanned, surprisingly. Jay will be the man on the flank to possibly deny it. Legion is there as well. Sees the buck ever so slightly, but the buck will get finished off by the Goyo through the floor by popping the hatch. They're going to continue as planned anyways, as the flames will tag up everybody. Warden gets hit and tagged. Line picked by the Grims. Full rotate will be there. Warden will eventually go down to Sincere's flames. The C4. No connection. Claymore will go down. And now the plan will successfully be there. Valkyrie getting caught. Shot in the back. Double kill on Sincere's hands. And now it seems like this round, what was supposed to be a strict 1v1, goes to straight chaos and mayhem, as now the defenders have lost full control of sight, and now it is the Mute left in a pool of attackers, and that is Sincere on a quad kill yet again to confirm the round, and finally the lead for God's Favor. They take it right back upstairs like nothing ever happened. And honestly, that's exactly what you need to do. You need to be able to receive that plant way more effectively. The Capitals just caught all of the defenders off guard, and that was the stepping stone into getting everybody gone, dusted, and never to be seen again. They take it on to Armory once again. Same operators, but Echo will be the new introduction. And now they need to manage to find that buck on the verticality. He managed to drive a wedge in between the defenders and crossing the east claws and finding that planter. Getting picked off early was a negative for God's Favor, but having a man like Sincere so coordinated and waiting for everybody to walk in, it's beautiful on his end. And right now we need to see a little bit of a step up coming in from Wey. Bring it upstairs. The hatch will remain closed. No feed holes in both the walls on Armory will remain stopped, meaning if an attacker were perchance wanting to rotate, he would have a very easy time getting in. The shield, however, makes East a little bit of a harder opportunity, but with all of these rosters and all of these opportunities, with the attackers coming in from the Osa with the one-way shield, the Goyo and the Capitao as his counterpart, it will be quite easy for them to take it, but both Vulcans getting popped makes it a little bit harder for the defenders to counter. Mute will have a very easy toss-up for a C4, but moving on to the below, you will see Goyo catching the Ash off guard from bottom main, and that's your main fragger, gone and dusted, not to be seen for the rest of the round, and now it'll all be up to Wey for slowing it down and just waiting to receive the other shockwaves of pressure from the attackers. Second man will be going in for a walk-in. Osa, a little bit precarious and needs to be precautious because of the utility and the verticality below. Jay will find the second kill onto Ford, and it looks like it's all crumbling down here as the C4 will connect with Gun. The down will come in from the window, and a flawless seems to be ensuing as now the Grim left in a pool of defenders with no other opportunity but now to isolate the ones. All the attackers knowing better than to just swing, and they will be in a situation where all they can do is just relax. Waiting on up, might be able to find an easy kill on the Valkyrie, but timing where timing is due. Cannot find it indeed, cannot confirm it, but Jay, doesn't matter what he can see or what he can't, he'll find that headshot no matter what happens, and he'll absolutely shut down a one tap through a wall. You have to imagine what the comms sound like with that type of aggression, but that's 4-all as Wey will confirm their tie. They take it right back down to bathroom. They're gonna bring a castle this time. Wey has a different expectation and a certain level of aspects they want to hold the verticality with, and the castle is the first step to that. He restricts the easy hold, and he will be the man to lock down that first floor and mold it to the shape and the liking of oneself. Now, having it means you need to have a little bit more extensive map knowledge, and you need to not waste your castles on areas that'll honestly start ending up screwing your defenders more than driving a wedge of the attacker's plan. So right now we need to see how he'll play. He'll have one in detention, second one on bottom west main, the third following into on the double of waiting room, and the fourth yet to be placed. Or no, it's already been placed. It's been on the double door of west main. Spear entry is no longer Sincere, as he does do better on Capitao, as we saw him on a quad kill again. will be the man assigned to taking care of upstairs. Gone 6 in hand. And right now, it's all quiet on the western front as they will be looking for certain utility picks and maybe a defender pick if they can drone them out correctly. Goyo getting caught off guard, and that's just how you mold the account and the map to your liking, as Omerta will win his first one. A little bit of aggression from the Goyo. High risk, high reward, and the reward was not met, and the risk was death by the AK-12. 4v5 as it allows the attackers now to fully set upstairs and go for the verticality. 4 defenders now tasked with finding that singular refrag that could put them on the board. That's the refrag, and that's the Nomad Con with 1 air jab left in the pocket. Not much for flanks right now, as they have all the foundations and bases covered, and right now there's not a bunch of action needed to be done. SINOTWTCH alongside with the Yosa will be the ones assigned with finding this singular breach, allowing to plant nice and easy. Saving that last EMP as they know they need to make it work perfectly to get this breach open and go for a plant. Vulcan canister will drive a wedge in between that plant very soon, but not having a C4 makes it all the more harder as Cade will shoot it out and pick it up. That will certainly drive a plan to hell as both the EMPs are now out of pocket, and the Cade will certainly be reactivated somehow with the fuse time of the EMP, allowing the breach not to be vulnerable and forcing the attackers to funnel in through the window or through this wind double door if they can get it open in time. Castle will be just landing bullets through the wall bang and does add that additional pressure that no attacker wants to face, and he will make himself a rotate, finding one body, and now Trip just needs to relax as he's doing a great job at just waiting now. Baiting the hop in as now the Capital will be the man to drive a wedge in between the defenders and the planters and will punish anybody trying to cross. But right now, that Legion sitting close to the shotgun is going to be the biggest pain to deal with as he will be protected by the head. C4 will be tossed as Dean will be the one to confirm his kill. C4 is wasted, but Legion now being able to assume an even better position. Ash and Osa now needing to go for the gunfights to win as they have 5 seconds to make something work. Cannot find the castle, cannot find the Valk as Jay will confirm one. Kenny from the next. Ash does not take that chance, and now it is Wade to find their 5th win, making it 5-4. They're going to take their last defender hold that they haven't won yet, aside from customs, because nobody plays customs. They'll take it on to ventilation and workshop. Castle yet once again integrated into the roster. No bandit this time. Mute could be the potential wall deny if he is used correctly, but again, having the verticality on a site that is soft with 2 hatches is just the main idea of gaining access to verticality and molding the map to your liking and to the liking of your team. The longer you can stay as cohesive as you did in the beginning, the easier it'll be to confuse the attackers and win. And that is genuinely how you play Siege and win your round. So right now you will have main defenders all be upstairs. Seeing one in the inside, the Valkyrie, and the others setting up for the verticality. Bathroom yet to see a single reinforcement. Same with the quad walls. Not a rotation in sight, and now they know they need to get to work because having sight this soft is a problem. Seems like a solo entry from Sincere would have been the play here, but he will be rotating onto the site. The question is, have they realized that site is completely not set up yet? All that is needed is full concept verticality to be able to make it the liking that they need. Prioritizing the castles on the windows and the ACs to prevent anybody walking in, and right now that's exactly how you want to play it when you have so many defenders just waiting upstairs. Moving on to the Azami, it has a crazy pixel angle, yet somebody tries and dares to challenge her. Pixel almost leads to Zophia's death, and right now, it'll be the defenders right now with the upper hand. They have denied so much time, but the plan is going to be something going down, yet somehow Valkyrie, the potential to do something crazy and no longer an opportunity. This is why you set sight up properly, as now the defenders are put into a spot with absolute chaos around the map, all scrambling to find a pick as Zofia gets evened out. Double kill for ISO as he gets picked off. Now Omerta gets the second consolidation kill, and an easy defuse is here and on the board if he can stick it correctly. Twitch now scrambling to find it, cannot find it. Dean finds one, a DK rule on the double, and it will be the defenders to narrowly win their way to match point. Castle does deserve map play of the week, as that is elite map knowledge, how to know how to defuse through a crouch breach, giving them the match advantage. Wow, what was an absolute beautiful read by God's Favor, turned into an even better intellectual moment from Ways, and that was a well-deserved round on their end. Upstairs, the rotation objective parameters does unlock that yet once again, meaning this is going to be an absolute crucial round. Is it either going to be take home and good night for Wey, or is it going to be the round differential that closes it down to just one? All quiet on the western front as the defenders are a little late to set up and the attackers just getting a preliminary droning in. What we've seen is an absolute swarm from God's Favor. They boil it down to the last couple of seconds and go in for it, but right now they are just going to slow everything down. No Capitao on the board and instead bringing a Flores instead. Sincere been the most versatile player we've seen on God's Favor and has been showing us why he's here to win. To be absolutely difficult later on in the round if the Ashe cannot find it. No eyes to protect it, meaning it's even easier to find, but right now west, main, and east will be the absolute difficulty to deal with, and as we speak of the shield, it is no longer with us. A long angle as one player thinks he's out playing, but it would have been absolutely rule to find this consolidation kill. And it seems like a complete change of pace as they've rotated off completely to go get to the east breach. Attackers are all scattered off with positions on every single area of angles. You're gonna have the Nomad standing up, who had the most influential hold onto 90 and getting deleted right now by ISO, as he will be the one to keep this held down. Ashe assuming the position of the Nomad and knows she needs to get this Goyo gone and win her gunfight, but she cannot, as he'll delete the second. He's going out swinging. ISO not close to going down yet. 20 HP in a dream as he'll keep winning his gunfights. Flores now being the man to wedge himself between the Vigil, 90, and Metal. Can he win his gunfight? Both tagged up. Vigil assuming the less damage. Omerta taking more as he's getting hit by this bandit. Getting live ping, but right now keeping your position just makes most sense. Vigil getting taken care of on the bottom floor, and right now still they're at a deficit in the bodies. Still a beautiful hold from the defenders is going to allow them to deny the plant for longer, but a floor bang from Sincere shows why he doesn't want to send this home a little earlier, and he'll even it out to 3-3. Bodies are now health dropped, and now the ace planting in the corner is going to be a pain to deal with. The Sincere will find his next, but the Echo will consolidate and keep the bodies up. But Sincere is on an ace here if he can find the Echo. And right now, he is just swinging everything, but getting shut down ultimately, and needs to hop on the Echo Cam to shut it down. The question is, can he find it? It's not on the floor fast enough, and it'll go down. Prioritizing the res over the Yokai Sonic Boom, as now it's 38 seconds to make something happen. Trip taking that flank a little too seriously, almost landing it, and will down the first. Can he find the Grim? Left in a 1v1 situation, as now it is all up to the two operators that are the lowest and have been the lowest in the round. And now it will be Omerta for the double kill to send us into 6-5. An absolute beautiful game, as both teams haven't shown us any reason why they should be getting beaten. It's been beautiful on both ends. Both teams have certain holds that just work in their favor, and certain things that just work for them is what we're seeing as we take this to a potential one more round until we move it on to OT. Can Wild Boys close it out in regulation, or are we going to be here a little bit longer? The site they had the blast on, Bathroom, will be the next hold. Boiled down to the last minute, hopefully it won't again, but the bodies have been beautiful on terms of audio, time, and utility usage by Wey. Right now, the only problem they're seeing is sometimes they can't receive the shock of the planters. Having this Volcan canister fixed in the position of the plant is going to be something that will help deny. Kaid, not brought no longer, was the main factor of winning Bathroom the next time and last time, so hopefully we'll see how they'll play it out without. Let's see if they can adapt to it. Rotate yet to be made, a little bit late to the setup, but the quad wall will be set up, and now they will be going for a little bit more of a formative hold into ventilation and customs. Rule will be the man himself to find a kill, or try to at least. As right now, the attackers have been very good at clearing the roamers. They haven't gotten caught off guard too many times yet. They've gotten caught off guard once in general, but it's been very good on their end. And right now, they just need to find their bodies and execute. Almost seeing an early kill here, as that 5.52 commander does pack a punch through the walls. But what does pack a punch is the R4C straight to your dome, as ISO will go down. A little bit of the whiff is going to prove faithful, as Vigil will take one with him as he'll go down. Does get given that second chance by Four and by a little bit of a whiff, and it will be 2 picks in the favor of God's favor, but 1 consolidation by taking out that Maverick. The man assigned to the hatches is going to go down, but luckily they have a contingency, being the Grim with the can openers. Can openers being used as expected, and right now the attackers do have a good general grasp on site, as they have the verticality, and as we've seen, almost a double kill there for Jay. He'll pick one off of the vert. Not too smart to be droning on broken floors, but that will lead to the downfall of Foreign. And now a plant is all that is needed to force them into OT. Echo not with us. Jay no longer has a C4 as he is in the ground, and now 2 defenders tasked with finding a kill. The kill that would be the most important, as they will drop into sight and get that plant down. Gunnin protected by the bees, the Vulcans, and this teammate playing Overwatch on the hatch. You need to flank, and you need to flank now, as you have 2 players trying to defend it, but Legion cannot find a pick here, and it seems like we might be going to overtime, as Castle tags up Thatcher but cannot find a pick. They need to find their kills here, as he'll find it down. You need to kill the man on Overwatch, but he'll pick you off instead, and it'll be Nomad on the first. Castle not being able to find the Grim, and that's Omerta to end it out once again for his 2nd round in a row, forcing us to OT, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful displays of teamwork from both teams, and some fine points to be refined, and it would be standing in between them and a victory. If they can get those points down to a T, we'll be seeing this game ending very soon. They take us on to upstairs, the same shield. Again, surprised no teams have integrated a Wamai or Jaeger into the hold when the shields and the utility do need to stay alive to be able to deny. But right now we are going to see Omerta using his 6th pick on attack to bring in a Blitz and a Chaos Agent, but switching quickly back to Gridlock. It all boils down to who can find this match. Whoever finds this round takes it to their leeway. If it's God's favor, they'll have defense on their match point. Only a man can dream. All 5 bodies do seem to be in sight, and they will be bringing a ton of denial, considering the plant has been put down a total of 4 times. Blitz will be the Chaos Agent right now. Grim will be his backup alongside with the Capitao. The question is, how many bodies will be there below to capitalize? The Goyo was the key man in finding the verticality and helping the team on the vert, and right now it seems like he'll be tasked with doing the same exact thing. If the team will pop this hatch for him because he needs to keep that impact for the main verticality when the team decides to actually hop in. Buck, though, might be the person to drive a wedge in between all of this, and Foreign is going to be the next band that'll have the pressure coming in from main once that plank goes down. This multifaceted push does allow the defenders to be much more stressed when it comes to worrying about where all of the attackers are coming in from. Only 3 are focused on these AC windows, 1 sitting close on the armory bridge, the other one creeping up metal. The question is, has he been found? Bandit might be in here for a nice surprise as he goes in for the engagement, but right now Buck backs off of metal and goes in below and will start playing vert. As they all start hopping in for sight, Warden, toss your C4 over into a corner, as right now he doesn't have one, and it's a 4v5 as Foreign will capitalize. That's why you need the Chaos Agent, and that's how you play it perfectly. An absolute flawless execute will allow that shield to go down, and right now it seems like it will be 6-7 in the favor of God's favors. They'll take it on to OT match point. Not if anything of these defenders have something to say for themselves. One body has been won, but can Warden win this gunfight? He'll take care of the Blitz. Can he win the next? Because he needs to. As the man wedged himself between Africa and Lockers, will lose his life. Will it be enough time wasted on his end to be able to win the gunfight? Echo will be found. Can he find the Goyo? Yes, he can. That's prompt. That's the round. And it's 6-7 as we take care of it and move on to overtime match point. We take this to the potential last round, sadly, of the series, as we'll see Armory Archives as that hold that it's so essential that God's favor either needs to win or a way to take it to double OT. And right now, a well-fought matchup by both parties is going to be imperative for them to take home. Same staple operators, but Frost will be that differentiating pick. Only 1, 2 C4s on the board, and Frost not using her shield on that hiddles are going to be a little bit confusing for the attackers, but we haven't seen Wey go for the East take as often as we have seen God's favor, so it is going to be a little bit of an interesting round. Warden trying to do a little bit of parkour here, but failing and eventually just giving up. A zombie has finally been integrated into the site setup, meaning security is not going to be a fantasy to find easily. Volcan canister being bottomed on top east is going to be an absolute pain also to deal with for the attackers. And Foreign about to go upstairs through east, eating the Goyos, not seeing the flames apparently and getting caught off the drone, meaning he can't go back down unless he hops down the overhang, exposing himself to the wind. As right now he finds his maker and ISO sends him to God. Second man that is going to be potentially in the line of fire will be Sincere. The question is, can he find his pick? Absolutely crucial to his team in finding his kills, but is quickly answered as it'll be ISO to take off his head. ISO again on the triple kill, and he's wedged himself in between everything. 16 next to his name, and now the man himself, who single-handedly does not want to go home empty-handed. He wants to win in the hands. He wants the points, and right now it's showing by those 16 in the box. Right now, Stun's being tossed into jail to make sure there's no man sitting there, and ISO will be the person to walk in as Ben has been taking care of the C4. Will slow down the attack, but right now, a 4v1 will be ended shortly by Rulez, who will take it to 7-7 overtime. It can't get further than this. This is an infinite. This is the potential, or not the potential. This is the confirmed last round of the game. They take us to 7-7 overtime. The site that's been the controversial one the most. We've seen plants in the middle of the site. We've seen people run in full speed and whiff a mag. We've seen a bunch of things go on in ventilation, and hopefully we'll be able to breathe with this amount of pressure building up coming in from both teams. They fought out 14 hard rounds, taking us to nearly an hour of fighting. Let's see how this will play down. Jay will be the main disruptor, has C4 in the hand, and I'm 85% sure he has cameras upstairs. Defenders have been prioritizing the verticality hold, so a swarm is not going to be the smartest of ideas now that they're expecting a plant. With direct verticality over it, it's nearly impossible to get that done. Attackers have quickly realized that, realizing that this might not be the smartest of holds, and they will rotate off. Following greater passages, they will move upstairs and look for something. Detention has been fully reinforced off, and Jay has the power position here. Has the ability to C4 security, wedges himself in between the site, and has a hop up to deny anybody coming in from passport. Doka be hopping in through supply. We'll see an early gunfight here, as Quick Twinkle Toe is going to be who can land the one tap the fastest. So if we running at our full speed will win the gunfight, as Foreign with some well-needed aggression will force the man with the C4 going down. That's a beautiful pick. The man with the power position goes down, and the defenders will be forced to scramble. All stationary on the western front, as now they're all waiting for somebody to make a mistake. Trip has the ability to make one mistake here, but the Nomad is watching the cross and will save the life preemptively from Catwalk. Grims are going to continue and proceed to find this is zombie through the verticality, meaning it would be a very easy pick if Dokkaebi decides to look up, but her teammates will hold her down. A zombie needs to go out swinging here, shove off the Volcan to deny some time, but it's 15 seconds left, and she needs to find a pick here. here. She's taking damage, taking live pings, and Sincere will double the differential. And now, absolutely imperative they win their verticality gunfights. One will be won. The flash will come in from the second. And now, it all boils down to who will win these gunfights. Dean's not going down without a fight as he'll win his gunfight. Can he find the next on prompt? C4 raiding in. Triple win his gunfight. 2v2 as it's flying in from everywhere. Wallbang will connect and the plank going down absolutely on the vert. Is it over? The question is answered, and it is yes. Way to confirm. Way to call it a day. And name what a game to call it theirs. Shouldn't be disappointment from anybody, as an absolute well-deserved win goes in the favor of Wey, and God's favor should be proud of themselves. What a match. What was absolutely a run-through, run-of-the-mill game in the beginning turns out to be a map that boils down to all overtime rounds. And I say good job to both teams. And that, without further being said, my shirt's green, so I'm the green screen now. With that being said, make sure to drop a follow whether you're on YouTube or Twitch. This has been my debut on SWL. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will be back on Saturday. If I'm not correct, hopefully I am. We will be back on Saturday with our next league match. Have a great night, and I will see you guys later. Peace.